Good morning, everyone. For those of you who are joining us for the second presentation, today my name is Jana and I'm a city specialist at Chaos Group. Thank you all for having me today. And in the following presentation, I'm going to talk about photorealistic materials, and you will see how easy and fast you can achieve photorealistic results using the new material scanning technology called VRscans. So I hope that everybody can see my screen and hear me well. If not, then please write in the chat so we can know that. So if someone asks me what is VRscans, I will definitely say that it is the world's most accurate material scanning technology. And on the screen, you can see here two images. One of the images is real photo, and the other one is a render. We have used the VR scan for that. So before I move on, I want to see if you guys can guess which one is the render and which one is the photo. So you can guess for yourself, or if you want, you can just type left in the chat. You can type left if you think that the left one is the render, and you can type right if you think that the right one is the render. So let's see if I can see the okay, there is some guessing. Please guys, just type left or right. I'm curious to see what do you think. So I have once right, then we have left. Okay, somebody else? Right, okay. Left, oh, 50-50, that's nice. All right, guys, thank you for playing along. So I'm going to tell you the truth. For me, this was interesting, and for us as in Chaos Group, it's always interesting to know if we are close enough to the reality. And when people can think that the actual render is a real photo, that's good. That means that we are really close enough. So the truth here is that the left one is the render, so photorealism versus realism. The right one is the photo. So guys, this is the agenda. I'm going to tell you what is VRscans and what was the idea behind that, how the idea was born. Then I will tell you how is it made, why people need it, how it can help artists, where it can fit in your timeline and in your pipeline, and how to use it, which is something really easy, a few clicks, but still nice to see. And of course, I'm going to show you the results, and this is the most important part. So I believe that you're going to see the quality of our product exactly by seeing the results. So what is VRscans? Well, the idea was born a couple of years ago. One of the biggest automotive companies out there is a client of ours, and they talked to us and they said, you know what, in the real world they are so complex material, it is just impossible to recreate them just by having with the standard BRDF types like Blin, Word, Fong, etc. Yeah, and it doesn't matter how much time we invest in trying, it is just impossible. So we took this as a challenge, and after a few years of hard work, research, development, prototyping, we came out with the solution for that, and it is called VRscans. So we have developed a piece of hardware, and it is a material scanner. And in combination with the proper software also developed by us, we are giving to the end client, end user, one single file which contains all the information needed to render photorealistic materials. What we give is a whole package solution. So how it works? Well, this scanner, it takes a lot of photos of a sample, so the technology captures each material's full appearance, including surface texture, reflectivity, dimensionality, and the most important thing, this is the unique way it reacts to light. Then, again, with the software combines all this data, makes the material tileable, so seamless. And then the VRscans plugin reads all this complicated data in 3D Studio Max or in Maya, so we can render it with V-Ray. Where we can think it can fit in the pipeline. It is perfect. Our service, our technology is perfect when we talk about automotive, aerospace, product design, interior design, furniture design, media and entertainment, in areas where the photorealistic quality is like must. In the automotive visualization, the car must be photoreal, the interior must be photoreal. And why we believe in that is that we are super good in scanning all kinds of car paints, leather, fabrics, plastic, metal. Probably you ask, what about architecture? Probably you saw that I haven't listed it in here. Well, there are still some limitations in the technology, and when we are talk about large surfaces with large unique textures, it is quite a challenge to scan them, because the tiling will appear after that visible. So, why people need it? Those three things I'm going to tell you a couple of more times, but this is the truth. We are offering exceptional photorealism. It will save you a lot of time, and it's really, really simple to use. It's basically drag and drop. I will try to explain you this more in depth. For example, if from the artist perspective, since I'm a 3D artist as well, when I work on a product design shot, what my workflow is, first I have many references on my second monitor. Then I need to take care of the textures. Then I can start playing with some lights, with camera positions, tweaking the material constantly, so it looks to me like at the reference. Then, when I'm happy with my results, I can ask a colleague if what he or she thinks, if this is close enough to the reference, and he can say, yeah, for me it looks okay, it works. Then I need to ask my supervisor or my team lead in order to see if he or she is happy with my work. So my supervisor can tell me, yeah, you know what, I don't like the camera position so much, so can you please change it a little? Yeah, but then when I change the camera position or I change the lighting because my supervisor didn't like it so much, then the material suddenly looks different. And I need to tweak the material once again until it is close enough to the photo. But you all know that at the end of the day, the customer will tell you if this is the render he wants or not. And when he says that this is not the exact material he gave you, then you need to work further on that. And this is a time-consuming process for everybody. And this is an issue, sort of an issue going back and forward we wanted to address with the VRscans. So by giving to the users the physically accurate and photorealistic material, you don't need to take care about the materials anymore. You have situation like in the real world. In the real world, a photographer cannot change the materials. The photographer plays only with the camera position, with different lights in order to shoot the perfect shot. So this is what we want to give you guys. You are going to be sure that the materials are physically accurate. They are going to behave in the real world, and you can just be creative and find the best camera position for you, the best composition together with the best lighting. And if someone's come and say, hey, change the position of your camera, doesn't matter. The material will still look as it's supposed to look like. So what does this mean for companies? Well, you can have, this is a way to standardize look and feel of products across design and marketing channels. What does this mean? Well, let's say that a company gives to a studio to create, for example, the advertising for this car, and another studio makes the print for that. So having the exact materials, they can be sure that the material of the car will always will look the same, also across different softwares. So I think a month ago we have launched a new VRscans library. In there you are going to find over 400 pre-scanned materials ready to use for your projects. All kinds of leathers, woods, plastic. This is how the library looks like. And you can see here that you have car paints, fabric, leather, etc. And there are also searching tools, so filtering tools. So if I want only to see the fabric materials, I can click on here. And if I want to see only the reddish one or the blue one, I can filter the materials available in the library. Also, if I want to see the pattern or the material better, I can click on it, and I'm going to get high-res representation of the material, so I can take a closer look to that. For now, we are giving you 30 days free evaluation period of a specific number of materials in the library. You can also use them for commercial purposes, whatever you want. I suggest to try this out. I'm going to mention this once again later on, because this is really a nice experience to work with the VRscans. So let's talk about the hardware. This is how the hardware looks like. This is the scanning machine, and this is how the plugin, the software looks like inside Maya. It is also available for 3D Studio Max for V-Ray 3.1 or higher version of V-Ray. We are also planning to have the materials in Rhino, SketchUp, Revit, Model, Houdini, and Blender. So support for those softwares is coming soon. All right, so at these two renders, you can see some of the materials we can scan. And this is how actually the material looks like inside of Maya. The only thing you need to do here is to load the material in here. And then since we we have information about the dimensions of the material, so we know how big the sample was. There is also a button which is automatically to adjust your tiling. It is this one, so you don't need to guess, to do any guessing work here as well. And this is how the material looks like in 3D Studio Max. The parameters are pretty much the same. And this is how actually a complex shading network could look like in 3D Studio Max using the standard approach with the V-Ray material, in a blend material, some textures. And I must say that I'm really afraid when I see something like that, especially if somebody else created it and the guy who did that is not at the office and I need to do the changes. So the client said, I don't like this material, can you please change something? And then I can figure it out how this works in here. Yeah, I prefer to see something like this. I love it. So this is the V-Ray, the VRscan material, which contains all the information needed to render photorealistic images. So guys, now it's time to show you some stuff in Maya and in 3D Studio Max. By the way, everything you saw here is rendered with the VRscans. Just to tell you that. And let's jump to 3D Studio Max. So this is here how the material looks like. As I mentioned, the only thing you need to do is to load the material in here and to adjust your tiling. Right now the RT is running, so I'm going to enable the real zoom and zoom closer to the leather material so you can take a closer look to that. And let's go and assign a different leather material to that, to the chair, and also to this small here part of it. You can see here the detail of the leather. I'm going to assign also a different leather material, this one. So here we go. And I want to show you some fabrics. So let's jump to the fabrics. And I'm going to move on to the cloth at this chair. And this is very, very nice material. It's also not so simple to recreate. It will take some time. I'm going to select this time the cloth in here and assign a different kind of material to that. So this is also a very nice and elegant cloth. Let's take a look at this one. This is one of my favorite ones. So I'm going to zoom in even more so you can see really the detail. You can see here the very small fibers and like a flakes on that part. Of course I have rendered, so let's get back real zoom. Of course I have rendered this in high res so you can really see the detail of the materials. I just wanted to show you the workflow. It will be mostly be like select the object, assign the material or that one and adjust the tiling if you need it. That's pretty much all you're going to do. And of course, set up your lighting and the camera. What I wanted to show you is some renders, so some high-res renders, first of the chair. So here you can see better the leather of the chair in high-res. Also, this is one of my favorite materials. I just love it, how natural it feels. Also here at the bottom I have a different cloth material, and this is also one of my favorite ones, the velvet material. Really beautiful. So metal, everything here, everything you see are VR scans. Here the leather, different kind of leather, different kind of fabric, what we have here. So I want to show you also something which we wanted, some tests we did at the beginning before we launched the product, were to make some photos of such scene setups. And since we knew the exact lenses, the exact lighting situation, we have scanned the materials and we wanted to see how close we are to the reality. So this here is the photo, and you can tell because of that small part. And this is here the render. So this material here is quite difficult, and this one to recreate, and this is the scanned material. So just one single material and you have those small gaps present, like this one. I want to show you the same, let's see if this was the correct one, the same, yeah, experiment in here. So you can see here is the sample, and this is here the rendered image. So again, we just wanted to see how close we are to the actual photos. So here I am showing you a couple of those are the render tests, and those are the real samples. You can see that because this is moving. But this is quite nice representation, and probably if you take a look just at the material, you can probably think again that this is you cannot be sure which one is the real photo and which one is the render. Probably here you can see the vignetting from the camera, which we haven't added in here, but otherwise the material itself is really, really close to the reality. A couple of other examples of leather, and yeah. So what else I can show you? Of course, some car paints. This will be really nice since everything started from there. So here I have the car paints materials. So here some examples of car paints. Since the car is far away, the flakes are not so good visible. But for that, I have here another image. This one first, so you can see the flakes of the material, and then I'm going to show you also an animation of the flakes. So here we have animate the sun, the lighting, so you can see how stable the flakes are, how nice they behave. So let's see what else I can show you in here. Probably a little bit more cloth materials. So this one was the velvet. Everything again here are scanned materials. This is really nice material, an interesting one. Here again. Here we have this material with the gaps. We have here also carbon, and this one is here again a car paint for this helmet. This is just test render of some of the materials. And then probably I want to share a couple of videos. By the way, the videos, if you want to take a look again at them, they are on our website. So here are different kind of fabric materials and how they behave when we change the lighting conditions in the scene. So this was the first one. Then I have some hologram materials. They are really, really complex to create. I don't know, to be honest, I don't know how this goes, especially this one. See how this changes with the light. It's amazing. So again, you can, if you want to see the video once more, it's available on our website. Different kind of metals. With some scratches as well. Okay, and what else I have here? I have a mixture of different materials. This with the small gaps. And the last one, which I want to show you, you can see here wood materials. With one, that they are the same materials, just painted. And with here with clear coat on top of them. All right. So let's see. I wanted to show you one more thing, probably this time in Maya. Let's see. So what was the idea here? We wanted to, again, make some tests and see what will happen if we extract the textures, the information for this particular material and try to recreate it, in this case in Maya. So this is what we got. And for me, when I see it like this, it looks okay, so it looks nice. So I'm going to save this one. But this here, as you can see, this here is the shading network of my material. I have here the textures, then a sampler info node, some remapping value nodes, and so on and so forth. So it took some time to create this material. And we already had the textures for that, so we didn't need to take care of them. And then we have built this switch material. So now if I select the switch material, I can tell to it to switch to the scanned material. So we tried to represent this splash material with the standard approach of building materials, and you saw what we have done. And this here is the simple node here is the scanned material, ready to use out of the box. So let's now make a comparison between what we have done and how the material behaves, the scanned material behaves. So this here is the scanned material, and this one is what we have created. And the scanned material looks somehow more natural to me, and I will try to explain you why this happens. So I don't need this anymore. Okay, so here we have done the same experiment. We have built this plush material, and this is the result what we have achieved. In this case, the light is coming from this and this direction, and this is the reason why here I have so bright spots. But if you think in the real world, this material is built from very, very small hairs. So if the light, and the light is coming from here, if the light get to the surface here, it goes inside of it, inside of the small hairs, and it bounces between the hairs, and we are losing some of the light in there. So let's take a look how this looks like with the rendered, with the scanned material. So I'm going to show that. See how nice the scanned material behaves. Now we don't have so bright spots in here. Because of the fact that we are actually losing some of the light in here. Plus, we can capture self-masking and self-shadowing of the materials. That means that the material can drop shadows on itself without having any displacement. So again, here this is what we have created with the standard approach, and this is the scanned material. Okay, I think we are ready to move on with the presentation. This was the demonstration part. What we can offer is ultra photorealistic results, physically based accuracy. You saw how easy it is to use it. All the materials are highly tileable. That means that doesn't matter where your seams are, they won't be visible. Plus the materials are customizable. That means that you can slightly change the color by tinting it. There is also opportunity to play with the clear coat on the material. For example, if we have wood material with a clear coat on top of it, we can disable it, or we can also play with the index of refraction, but be careful because this won't be the same material anymore. So if you want to build more complex shading networks, the VRscans material can be part of such. For example, you can combine it with the V-Ray blend material or with V-Ray bump material. So all this will save you enormous amount of time, and it's also compatible with V-Ray. All right, so we also have a service what we can offer, and this will be pretty useful for people who produce actual something and they want to have the exact same material. There is the possibility to send us those materials, the samples of the materials, and we are going to scan them and send just the files so they can work with them. So how this goes, you can send us a sample of your material. Don't be worried, we are working also with contracts for NDA, so you don't need to be worried about that. So first step, send us the materials to our headquarters. Second step, our technicians are going to evaluate the material if it's suitable for scanning. There are some so the material needs to be flat. The smallest sample which we can scan is 2 by 2 centimeters, and the biggest one is 20 by 20 centimeters. It needs to be not transparent and, as I mentioned, flat. So if the material fits to the requirements, it will be scanned. If not, you're going to get your material, your sample returned back. You won't be charged for that. Then the fourth step is that you're going to get so the material, the scanned file, so it will be ready to use just as you saw. Load it into the VRscan loader, apply it on your geometry, adjust the restyling, render. That's everything. So it can be sent via private FTP, or there are also many ways to send you the files. And the last step is that you are going to get your samples returned back to you at the end. So the VRscans portfolio contains first the plugin, which will allows you to read the data. Then you saw the VRscans library with a lot of more than 400 materials available now. We are constantly scanning new materials, and we are planning to double, even to triple the amount of materials early next year. And then you have the opportunity to send us some samples so we can scan them for you. So some custom materials. Yeah, the advantages of using the VRscans, I think it is clear, but again, photorealistic quality, it will save you a lot of time. You don't need to have experience or any specific skills to use them. Drag and drop, apply, render, super easy. Where to find us? You can visit our chaosgroup.com website. There in the VRscan section, you can see all the videos I showed you, some other renderings. If you want to read more technical information about that, you can visit our docs.chaosgroup.com website. There is everything explained, each and every parameter of the material. Plus, you can also download from there, this is here the link, you can download sample scenes and render them. Of course, if you don't have a license, they're going to be rendered with watermark, but still you can see the results. If you have any specific questions, this is the email where you can contact us. This is here the website, how it looks like, and here I will mention once more that we are giving free evaluation licenses for 30 days of the library. So you can use a certain number of materials, predefined materials, for free. You can use them also for commercial purposes if you want. So I really suggest to contact your reseller, or there is also a contact form in here for any questions, for any technical questions. You can write us an email at any time you want for that.